What's up? What's up, people? We're back. Another edition of the Breakdown here on the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. I'm Max, trademark MMA. He's Marcel. We're recording this on May 12th before the fight night on the 13th with Anthony Smith and Glover Teixeira. So we don't have any stats to read you for that card, but we will be breaking down the 16th, the fight night on the 16th of May, to go right into it. And we'll read both stats on next week's card before the May 23rd event. Big Marcel, you ready to do this thing? Part two?
Yeah, man. It's feeling like I talked to you like a few minutes ago. I don't know, but
Yeah, it's so weird. How about that? And guess what? We're starting in the heavyweight division again. Dontel Mays, minus 125 favorite against Rodrigo Nascimento, who is the plus 105 underdog. As you know, I like to bring up Dontel Lord Kong Mays. He is the all-time Dana White Contender Series fights leader with 3. He makes his second trip to the UFC's octagon after taking a submission loss to Cyril Gane in his UFC debut. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Steele gets another shot this time through. I guess he hasn't had 2 fights. He's only had 1 fight on the Contender Series. But who knows? Maybe
Casey
we'll
Kenny
get.
had to.
Yeah, Casey Kenny had 2. Yeah, Charles Bird had 2. A lot of guys had 2. Menafield, Ryan Spann, but be interesting to see if we get a third time. That was that snapped his 4-fight win streak. Nascimento is 27. He is 7-0 as a pro. He also enters the UFC off a Dana White Contender Series win. That was over the Blackbird. Michal Martinek was supposed to fight the previous summer on Dana White Contender Series Brazil, but was forced to pull out. Big Marcel Mays Nascimento. How do you think this one goes down?
Yeah, so you pretty much said all the intro about both fighters. I think is it Dontali or Dontail?
I've heard both, so I don't know.
Going with Dontali then. Dontali Mays. Yeah, what can you say, man? He lost to Cyril Gane in his UFC debut, and Cyril Gane is pretty much one of the future guys probably in the heavyweight division, So it's hard to measure that one. I think he looked pretty good on his third fight. Also didn't look that bad in the second fight on the Tuesday Night Contender Series. Has a win over Mohammed Usman, which is the younger
Big one.
brother of Kamaru, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
he may be the older brother, but he's a heavyweight, so I don't know.
yeah. Okay, so Nascimento, I think if Nascimento can get it to the ground, he will win the fight, man. I think he will win the fight in the second round because I think his ground game is better than Mace one. And Mace has to look for the knockout, I think, man. And if it's not going to be a finish, it's going to be a boring fucking fight for 50 minutes probably. But I'm taking Nascimento here by submission second round.
So that cracked me up. I'm sorry, you're a funny guy, Marcel.
Sure.
Uh, Mays, yeah, he's got to avoid the grappling. I think if Nascimento gets a hold of him, he'll keep him there and submit him. But I've actually been impressed by the gas tank of Mays, and I think it's hilarious that he calls himself the hottest thing smoking. So give me Mays to catch him on the feet, knockout second round. He gets taken down in the first, but doesn't get submitted, and then finds a way to get it done. And Big Marcel going with an underdog pick right out the gate. How about that? Very tough fight to call in this next one. I actually want to see where the line landed for this one as well because it was fluctuating a bit. Okay, so Darren Elkins minus 115, Nate Landwehr minus 105. So pretty much the same as where it was. This is an absolutely scrappy fight. Nate Landwehr had that high-profile UFC debut. Did not go well for him, though. Knocked out by Herbert Burns with a big knee. Prior to that, he was the M1 featherweight champion, had won 7 straight. Darren the Damage Elkins, 35. He has lost 3 straight, granted. It is to the current champ, Alexander Volkanovski, Ricardo Lamas, and Ryan Hall. Prior to that, he had won 6 straight. Tough fight to pick here, Marcel, at featherweight. You got Elkins or Landwehr?
Why I have to pick first again? I have my pick, but you go first this time.
I don't know, man. I gotta favor Darren Elkins here, just in a Darren Elkins style fight. I like Landwehr a lot, and I really hope that he doesn't go 0-2 and out of the UFC. But give me the Damage by doing what he does best and gritting out a decision win.
That's exactly how I see it, man. I think Nate Landwehr, he got pretty much a second chance to make a first impression in the UFC. I'm pretty much a higher caliber opponent, maybe. Nothing against Herbert Burns because he's great as well, but man, Elkins will try to take him down, will try to grind, and will keep going for 15 minutes like he always does. And he's hard to put away. We all know that. So give me Darren Elkins via a split decision.
Elkins via split decision for Marcel. All right, we go to women's flyweight division. Courtney Casey is the minus 150 favorite against Mara Romero Borella out of Italy. She is the plus 130 underdog. Cast Iron Casey, 8-7 as a pro. It was kind of weird to see her out of action for 15 months because she consistently fought at least twice every year between 2015 and 2018. Was lined up opposite Lara Procopio in San Diego. She dropped her last fight against Cynthia Calvillo, but defeated the surging Angela Hill prior. Goes up in weight for this one, and I know Big Marcel's waiting on it for your TMZ update of the day. She is in a very serious relationship with UFC lightweight Drakkar Klose. Mara Romero Borella is out of Italy, 12-7, has lost 2 straight and 3 of 4. She is coming off a decision loss to Montana De La Rosa and previously knocked out by Lauren Murphy. Marcel, you got Casey, you got Borella. Break this thing down.
Yeah, so we got Courtney Casey against Mara Romero Borella, Alzolino side chick. I'm just kidding, Al, if you're listening. Courtney Casey, flyweight. I think it's good. It's good that she's going to flyweight, man. I think she can make a run there. She has some good wins on her record. She has some losses, but those losses, man. I mean, the Michelle Watterson loss, for example, that split decision could have been hers as well. I mean, that was a super close fight. Many people thought she won that one. Then we go into Mara Romero Borella. She hasn't been impressive since she won her debut fight against Kalinda Faria. After that, only 1 win in 4 fights. A split decision win against Taylor Santos in Brazil, which should have been unanimous, to be honest. But Courtney Casey all the way, man. I think Courtney Casey finishes this fight in the 3rd or 2nd round via TKO. 100% Courtney Casey in this one.
Courtney Casey for me as well. I've always been a fan of hers, I think. I mean, she's taken very hard fights over the course of her UFC career.
She's also a fan of yours, what I've heard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I heard too. Marcel, I know who I was thinking of, and sorry if it seems like I was distracted. Jordan Williams will probably tie the record for Contender Series fights this year.
Okay, yeah.
Couldn't you see that happening?
Definitely, 100%, yeah. Right.
Dontel Mays, all-time leader. I just think that's funny. He's got 3 fights on the Contender Series. All right. Talk about some more Contender Series bets here. We got Mike Davis and Giga Chikadze at featherweight. Terrible transition. I apologize. Davis is the minus 225 favorite. Chikadze is the plus 185 underdog. Both sitting at 8-2. Actually, now Chikadze, I believe, is 9-2 now. Diverse strikers going to war here. The fight was rumored to be a part of UFC Copenhagen. Never came to fruition. Davis out of Florida. He's 27. He's won 3 of 4 with all finishes, including that just one-sided, uncomfortable beating of Thomas Gifford that we both picked Thomas Gifford in. All finishes in those 8 pro wins. Chikadze is a decorated kickboxer, 7 finishes on the resume, saw a draw change to a split decision win in his UFC debut against Brandon Davis, but then takes a very questionable decision over Jamal Enders at UFC 248. Big Marcel, Vegas really high on Mike Davis here. I think this fight's a little bit closer than that betting line suggests, but how do you see this one playing out?
So, Giga, it's actually funny. Giga means in Dutch means huge. So that's pretty fun.
Huge Chikadze.
Giga, yeah. He's coming from kickboxing pretty much, you know. So, like you said, the Amherst fight was pretty 50-50. Could have been Amherst fight, you know. Amherst, by the way, means buckets in Dutch. Then he has also a win over Brandon Davis, which should have been unanimous, which was called a draw on the spot, if I can remember correctly.
Right.
And then it got later changed. Mike Davis, 1-1 in the UFC, short notice fight against Gilbert Burns. He lost that one. And also for the Contender Series, I remember he was a huge favorite against Sodiq Yusuff, and I didn't really understand that because I thought both guys are great. You know, it was a great fight, probably one of the best fights ever on the Contender Series. The Gifford fight, we talk about that. Give me Mike Davis, man. I think Davis is going to win the fight via unanimous decision. Will be a fun fight because Chikadze probably has the advantage in the stand-up with the kickboxing degrees he has, but Davis can make it a gritty fight, man. And I think Davis has also the technique to make it a good stand-up fight. So it will be a fun fight. Taking Davis in this one.
Yeah, I think something that gets overlooked. Davis, very credentialed wrestler as well. Our friend Keyshawn
Yeah.
likes to bring that up. I think he actually is going to go straight to it in this one, not allow Chikadze to get off any of his nasty strikes. But Davis, very good striker in his own right. So Davis decision for me as well. All right, we got middleweights on deck, and I'm going to let you go first in this one, Big Marcel, because as we know, it's a close betting line. So I'll give you the hard ones. Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy, minus 115. Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer, minus 105. Take things away.
So Kevin Holland, also from the Ultimate Fighter, from the Contender Series, called Big Mouth by Dana White, um, and he pretty much embraced that. So um, hasn't looked that bad in the UFC, but you know where my stance is on his results, man. I think he lost his last fight against Brandon Allen, but I think the
Yeah.
Chirico fight and definitely the Mershot fight, he didn't win that one. So could have been easily 0-3 in his last three fights. But he's a fun guy to watch. On the other hand, with Anthony Hernandez, was the LFA champion, won against Brandon Allen, which is a big win in my opinion. Then got that no contest against Jordan Wright, which got overturned. Originally was a KO win on the Contender Series for weed or something, or for marijuana.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly.
One
But
side, that was just a mauling.
yeah. Um, Lost to Marcus Perez in his UFC debut, but looked good. Came back from behind against John Young Park in his most recent fight. That was in Shenzhen, I think.
Yeah, that was a
Um,
war. Or
yeah,
was it in Shenzhen? Yeah, that
yeah,
wasn't in Busan. Yeah, because
yeah,
Park fought Barrio in Busan. Yeah,
yeah. Because I didn't saw that fight live, so I knew that wasn't the Busan ones. I had to work back then, so I'm taking Hernandez in this one, man. I think Hernandez will win this fight, maybe with a submission late in the third round. But Hernandez, fluffy.
tough fight to pick. Yeah, the MMA Gold Fight team with Max Griffin, Aspen Ladd. That's where Anthony Hernandez trains out of. But he was originally lined up against Puna Soriano. Um, Meanwhile, Kevin Holland was originally matched up against Jack Marshman in London, and he had been hinting at a possible drop to 170, but guess not. He's here at 185. I'm going to go the other way with Holland by a decision. I think it's going to be a kind of a stay on the outside point fight type of situation here.
What did you pick again?
Holland.
Holland. Okay.
Yeah, so we're split on that one. Um, Headlining the prelims is an interesting fight between a young lion and a grizzled vet, or maybe an old lion and a young lion. Matt Brown against Miguel Beza. Beza is the minus 205 favorite. I was kind of surprised to see this betting line. Matt Brown is the plus 165 underdog. He once retired Immortal Matt Brown out of Cincinnati. He is back. He's been around the block. He is 39 years old, but he comes into this one off back-to-back TKO wins over Diego Sanchez and Ben Saunders. But this is a different fight than those two. This is a very hungry up-and-comer out of the MMA Masters team in Miami. Carmel Thunder, great nickname. Miguel Beza is 8-0. Won his UFC debut over, as many people listening to the show know, Hector Aldana, one of my least favorite former UFC fighters by a TKO.
And he's Mexican. Ooh.
Earned his way to the UFC by beating Victor Reina on Dana White's Contender Series. I believe Beza is also Mexican, so it's not like I'm hating right here that Beza won that fight. Big Marcel, Matt Brown and Miguel Beza. This is a very much old versus the new type of fight. Hard to pick here, but I'm curious to see where you landed.
So what I always say with Matt Brown, he is the type of guy you don't want to have a fight with, and I mean a fight outside the cage that he's pissed on you. You know, pissed off on you. He makes people uncomfortable when he looks mean, you know. And I'm a big fan of Matt Brown. I think he's an amazing fighter, veteran. The funny thing is, I think how longer the fight goes, it favors Matt Brown actually. For some reason. I don't know why.
Uh,
But
right there with you. Yeah, keep
yeah.
going.
But I think Baeza takes him out in the second round. So I'm taking Baeza. But if it goes to the judges, Brown probably is going to win because I think he has the. I always forget this word. He has the experience, and Baeza can make some mistakes, some rookie mistakes because he's still young. He's undefeated. He's a big talent, but I'm taking Baeza, but don't be surprised if Brown takes a decision. I think it can flip both sides.
He's a great talent. I agree. And I think he can probably have success with those big kicks. But I got to go with Brown here. I think the experience, the veteranness, the gas tank, the toughness, the gritty, immortal Matt Brown we've seen, I got to go Matt Brown. Unanimous decision. Underdog play for me. I don't know if he's going to be my official pick yet, but I'm taking him to win that fight. All right, well, we go to the main card and a really fun one to kick things off. The number 14 ranked Song Yadong is the minus 175 favorite against the number 15 ranked Marlon Chito Vera, who's the plus 155 underdog. And this is a tough fight to pick here because 27-year-old Marlon Vera is on a fantastic run. He has won 5 straight, all finishes, most recently finishing Andre Ewell in October, was slated to go against Eddie Wineland, was actually asked to step in for Cody Garbrandt against Rafael Assunção and accepted that fight. But Assunção elected to wait for a rematch with Cody Garbrandt instead. Team Alpha Male's Yadong, 15-4-1. He is 4-0-1 in the UFC. He most recently fought to a draw with Cody Stamann, but many believe he lost that one. Interesting to see if he bounces back in this one. Marcel Yadong, Marlon Vera. Tough fight to pick here. Kicking things off. What are you going with?
Yeah, you say many think he won or he lost that fight. Man, only people who had their eyes closed thought he won that fight. And there were 2 judges. I mean, this is hard to pick. Like you said, man, Vera is on such a good streak. He's doing very well in all his fights. He's finishing people, Song, on the other hand, Song Yadong, he is a big talent, but I'm still not convinced in his skills. As a top fighter. Marlon Vera is a veteran. I don't give a fuck, man. People will probably go with Song. I'm going with Vera. Taking Vera via a TKO in the second. No, or via submission in the second round.
It's funny because like I've kind of gone back and forth, and I think Song Yadong can land strikes early, but Marlon Vera, even if he sometimes is a slow starter, gets his feet, man, he is just showing so much poise these days, and he has really impressed me as of late. So I got to take Chito as well, and I think the same thing as you, a submission in the second round after kind of a back and forth first, but he lands something and then snatches a choke or something out of nowhere. So give me Chito Vera via submission. We go to middleweight for this next one. I'll let you kick things off, Eric. Your boy Anders plus 130, Krzysztof Jotko at minus 150. Take it away.
Yeah, Krzysztof Jotko, Polish guy, was in a 3-fight losing streak, and then now he won 2 fights against Alan Amadovsky, who he absolutely mauled and dominated in that fight. And then Marc-Andre Barriault, which was a pretty underwhelming fight, a split decision win. After that, he got matched up with Atman Shabazian. Jotko withdrew. Maybe better for him, he did. Eric Anders, it's hard to say Eric Anders, man. Sometimes he looks great, sometimes he doesn't, He defeated Vinicius Moreira, which everybody predicted except you.
I literally have a note that says he has back-to-back wins over Mamute Moreira. Go ahead, Marcel. Tell me your joke now.
It was too easy to let it slip, man, So then the Gerald Meerschaert fight, I thought could have been Meerschaert's as well. So it's hard to say, man. I'm picking Eric Anders by split decision. I really don't know. I don't know, man. Eric Anders, split decision. Don't have anything much to say. I really don't know.
I'm going Jotko here. Anders has shown a problem of fading. Jotko's more well-rounded. He shouldn't get caught on the feet. Decision win for the man from Poland. All right, well, I'm not a big fan of this next matchup here. Edson Barbosa at number 11 in the lightweight rankings. He goes down to featherweight to take on Dan Ige, who's currently sitting at 15 in the rankings. Barbosa, the slight favorite at minus 125. Ige coming back at plus 105. I don't want to see a weight cut from Edson Barbosa. He is already shredded at 155. I don't like the idea of him going down even further. He's 20-8. He has lost 4 of 5. Lone win in that stretch was a December 2018 win over Dan Hooker. Ige, meanwhile, is on an absolute tear. 13-2, 5 straight wins. Lone loss in his UFC debut back in January 2018 to Julio Arce. Coming in off back-to-back wins over Kevin Aguilar and Mirsad Bektic. I'm picking first here, Marcel. Ige catches him on the chin with a knockout in the first round.
Yeah, same.
All right, well, that was easy. Co-main event time. Claudia Gadelha taking on Angela Hill. Gadelha minus 195, currently sitting at number 6 in the strawweight rankings. Angie Overkill Hill plus 168. Gadelha, the former strawweight title challenger, division staple, 31 years old, 17-4 as a pro, 6-4 in the UFC, 2-2 in her last 4, but does enter off a win over Randa Marcos. Angela Hill, meanwhile, on a good run, 3 straight wins, but let's be honest, those wins not over anyone near the level of talent as Gadelha. So this will be a massive step up. Angie Hill, Claudia Gadelha, co-main event. Marcel, what do you see going down?
As much as I like Angela Hill, unanimous decision win for Claudia Gadelha. I think the level and opponents. I mean, many people will go with Hill, but you have to look at who she fought and who she beat. And man, Gadelha has been for years a top 5 fighter. She's now in top 10 probably in the division, and I'm definitely taking Gadelha by showing off her BJJ skills.
Yeah, I gotta be right there with you. I think Gadelha by submission in the second round or a decision, but I'll take the submission on this one.
All right.
Main event time. And we got a heavyweight matchup between the number 9 ranked Walt Harris, the number 8 ranked Alistair Overeem. Kind of surprised this line isn't a little bit closer. Walt Harris is the minus 160 favorite. Alistair Overeem plus 140 is an underdog. This was the original main event of UFC DC back in December. Overeem stayed in that main event, seconds away from a decision win before a walk-off knockout loss by Jairzinho Rozenstruik at 4:56 of round 5. That snapped a 2-fight winning streak. Meanwhile, Walt Harris, the big ticket, is 36. He is unbeaten in his last 4. Should really be 5, though, because he had that kind of DQ bogus loss to Mark Godbeer in that one. But he has finished back-to-back fights in 1 minute and 6 seconds of cage time. Marcel, your countryman, Alistair Overeem, are you taking him as an underdog? Let's hear your prediction.
Yeah, the thing is with Overeem, he has a much better ground game than Walt Harris has, I think.
For sure.
But his chin is suspect. And the problem is, if he has to implement the ground game, he probably has to do it for 5 rounds because I don't see him submitting Walt Harris. And then we get the same problem with that he had with Jairzinho Rozenstruik. A bomb guy's going to land on him. And definitely with the Walt Harris we have in the case probably right now, I think Walt Harris wants to show somebody, you know. I mean, we all know what happened to Walt Harris, to his stepdaughter. I don't want to go in too deep on it, but he will be really motivated, I think, for this fight. And I mean, I give a lot of respect to Overeem that he made this fight rebooked, you know, because this is a big fight for Harris, you know, and it was taken away from him, which he couldn't do anything about, you know. And I'm happy they got it rebooked because Harris deserves this chance against a veteran like Overeem to try to get inside the top 10 of the UFC and or at least get higher. So I'm happy this fight is happening again. I'm happy Overeem did, or how do you say that? Signed again on the dotted line for this fight because many people don't want to fight Walt Harris right now, and I'm taking Harris. I think he lands the bomb. I think he lands it and he knocks out Overeem probably in the second or third round. I think it will go a little bit longer than the first round, but I'm taking Harris in this one.
Yeah, I like Harris here. It's not going to be easy to clip over him because he's a vet, and we saw in the Rozenstruik fight, he was avoiding a lot of big shots. He didn't get hit as much on the feet until that last round. So I'm going to take big ticket Walt Harris. I think he's very athletic. He's really clicking right now at 36, but we know heavyweights have a little bit longer shelf life than most. And he got started late. He was a college basketball player. So give me the big ticket knockout in the 3rd round. Bonus time, and you were up first. Actually, no, sorry. I am up first for fight of the night. And I'm going to go with Matt Brown and Miguel Beza. Where are you at?
I think I'm going with Kevin Holland against Anthony Hernandez.
It could be a war. If anything like that Brendan Allen fight, and if it's anything like Anthony Hernandez fight against John Young Park, we could see a war. Performance of the night bonus winners, hand out your 2 and then your backup 2.
Dan Ige and Walt Harris. My backup 2 will be Miguel Baeza and Rodrigo Nascimento.
All right, I'm going Dan Ige and Chito Vera, and my backup two will be Harris and Gadella. Okay, underdog picks. My options are Matt Brown, Kevin Holland, Marlon Vera, Dan Ige. I'm going to go Marlon Vera. I just like that matchup. I like that opportunity there. Your options for underdogs are Nascimento, Vera, Anders, Ige. I believe that's it.
I'm going with Ige.
All right, and give us your lock of the evening.
Casey.
Man, that's a tough call. My lock of the evening will be Chris Jotko. All right, let's recap and we can get out of here. I'm taking Dontel Mays. Big Marcel's got Nascimento. Both taking Darren Elkins over Nate Landwehr. Both taking Courtney Casey. Both taking Mike Davis over Giga Chikadze. I got Kevin Holland. He's got Anthony Hernandez. I got Matt Brown. He's got Miguel Beza. Both got Marlon Vera over Song Yadong. I got Chris Jotko. He's got Eric Anders. Both got Danny Ige over Edson Barbosa. Both have Claudia Gadella over Angie Hill. And both taking Walt Harris in the main event over Alistair Overeem. Fight of the night for me is Matt Brown, Miguel Beza. For him, it is Kevin Holland, Anthony Hernandez. Performance of the night bonus winners for me are Danny Ige, Marlon Vera. For Marcel, it's Danny Ige, Walt Harris. Backups for me are Walt Harris, Claudia Gadella. Backups for him are Miguel Beza, and Rodrigo Nascimento. Underdog of the night for me is Marlon Vera. For Marcel, it's Dan Ige. Lock of the night for me is Chris Jotko. Lock of the night for Marcel is Courtney Casey. UFC fight night in Jacksonville on the 16th. Any final thoughts you got on this one, Marcel?
Enjoy the show, guys. I don't know what else to say. Enjoy while it lasts, because we have no idea which event we have after this one. So,
yeah, only 4 reported fights right now for that May 23rd card. Hopefully that starts to fill up. We get some clarity there. But thanks,
pretty
everyone.
much, it's four fights now. And when you upload, it's pretty much all the whole card is announced. You're always out.
Yeah, going to be busy writing up notes on this one, and you'll be busy writing up articles on a great website at mmadna.nl. Be sure to check that out. And where else can the people find your great content?
Big Marcel 24, Twitter, Instagram, mmadna.nl, mmadna on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Trademark MMA. What's up?
Yeah, give Marcel a follow on Twitter because it's funny to not just because he's great content all the time, but to see him interact with fellow fight fans from all over the world. It's pretty entertaining. Such a nice, genuine dude out there. Great presence, putting stuff out there. Want to remind everyone to follow the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network wherever you get your podcasts. Lots of great content delivered right to your mobile device. We will be back to break down either a 4-fight or maybe more fight card for May 23rd and give the results of both this upcoming week, I should say, is fight cards on the 13th and 16th. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.